There are 5 rivers you must cross to truly die. But one man crossed into that darkness, and walked back out alive. His name was Odysseus, king of Ithaca, survivor of 10 years of war. Before he could sail home, he had to do something no living man was supposed to do. He had to visit the dead. The witch Circe gave him the directions. Sail north, past the edge of the known world, to a place where the sun never rises. A place where 2 rivers meet. One of fire, one of endless wailing. Right at the gates of the underworld. Odysseus didn't need a god's permission to get in. He needed a knife, a hole in the ground, and blood. He dug the pit himself. He cut the throats of black sheep. The blood poured into the earth. And that's when the silence broke. The dead came. Not walking. Drifting. Pulled forward by the smell of blood, like something starving that hadn't eaten in years. Brides who died young. Old men crushed by grief. Soldiers still wearing the wounds that killed them. Odysseus stood over the pit with his sword drawn, holding them back. Because not all of them were allowed to speak yet. Not until he found the one voice he came for. The first to reach him wasn't who he expected. It was Elpina. One of his own crew. A man who died just days earlier, falling drunk from a roof. Left behind without a proper burial. His spirit didn't ask for vengeance. He didn't ask for answers. He just asked for a grave. To be remembered. Instead of wandering, forgotten, forever. Odysseus promised he'd come back and bury him. Because in this world, an unburied soul doesn't just disappear. It lingers. It suffers. It waits. Then came the one he'd actually traveled for. Tiresias. The blind prophet. Dead for years. But still seeing further than any living man. He drank the blood. Only then could he speak. His warning was simple. And brutal. Poseidon hasn't forgiven you, he said. For blinding his son, the Cyclops. Your road home will be long. It will be broken. And there's one test waiting for you that matters more than anything else. An island. Guarded by sacred cattle. Cattle belonging to the sun god himself. Touch them, harm them, and you lose everything. Your ship. Your crew. Your future. Leave them untouched, and you might still make it home. It was the next spirit that broke him. His own mother. Nekyia. He didn't even know she was dead. He'd left her alive in Ithaca, years ago. Now she stood among the shadows. And she told him the truth. She didn't die of illness. Or age. Or accident. She died of longing. Of waiting. Of grief that wore her down to nothing, while she waited for a son who never came home. For a moment, the great strategist, the man who outwitted monsters, had nothing clever to say. He just reached for her. And his arms closed on empty air. The dead can be seen. They cannot be held. More came after her. Each story heavier than the last. Achilles. The greatest warrior who ever lived. Wars were fought just to win him. But here, he wasn't glorious. He was hollow. Odysseus called him a king, even among the dead. Tried to comfort him. Achilles gave him an answer that's been quoted for almost 3,000 years. He said he'd rather be a living slave, scraping for survival on someone else's farm, than rule as king over every soul in that place. All his glory. All his fame. It meant nothing now. It couldn't keep him warm. It couldn't bring him back. Then came Agamemnon. The commander who led the entire Greek army to victory. He survived 10 years of war. Only to be murdered the moment he walked through his own front door. Betrayed by his wife. Killed at his own celebration feast. The deadliest place for him wasn't the battlefield. It was home. By now, the spirits were pressing in. Hundreds of them. Drawn by the blood. Crowding closer. Their voices rising into something close to a roar. And underneath it all, a quieter fear. That Persephone herself, queen of that entire realm, might notice a living man standing where he didn't belong. Odysseus didn't wait to find out what that meant. He turned. He ran for his ship. And he sailed away from the land of the dead while he still could. He got what he came for. A warning. A path home. And a truth most people never hear while they're still breathing. That glory fades. That grief outlasts memory. And that the dead would trade every honor they were ever given, just for one more ordinary day alive. This story comes from Homer's Odyssey. Not a religious myth on its own, but a poem that pulled directly from the same underworld. The same rivers. The same rules the Greeks already believed in. The same Acheron. The same Poseidon. The same descent every soul eventually makes. Except Odysseus made it early. Asked his questions. And was allowed to leave. If you want to know exactly what waits on the other side of that journey, the 5 rivers, the 3 judges, the fate that decides where every soul ends up, that story's already on this channel. Go watch it next. And if this one pulled you in, subscribe. There are a lot more doors into the underworld left to open.